On the latest episode 13 of Married to Medicine, Lateasha and Greg needs to understand that their replacement is coming soon if Greg does not drop those charges. And you guys need to know who is going to be their replacement. Hi, you guys. This is Rain Said That, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So we're continuing on with episode 13, where Toya and Mimi was sitting down talking to Lateasha, and they wanted to know why Greg even put charges against Quad's boyfriend King, because there wasn't any physical altercation. And Lateasha was not trying to let them know the information. You know, Greg is very private about that. But they were just basically trying to let her know that she has been acting a fool. She has been trying to fight people, aka Heavenly, on the trip. So they're just asking them to extend grace. Honestly, it's really Greg that's the problem, because, you know, Lateasha cannot speak for Greg, and Greg does not allow her to speak for him in the first place. But they need to understand how crucial this is, because the replacement is sooner and closer than they think. Now, the guys are also trying to sit down and have a conversation with Greg, but the real problem is that Greg's ego is hurt and he's honestly embarrassed. And he did provoke King at the beach. Do not get that twisted. When he was saying to King, well, I hope that you can protect Quad, he was literally egging it on. And honestly, King was definitely feeding into that whole narrative that Greg was trying to provoke him to fight him so he can have a reason to get kicked off the show. But I feel as though right at the split moment where he was thinking about fighting Greg, that's when it clicked, and then he kind of calmed down. But honestly, I just feel like that King was just putting on a show. You know, as soon as Shaq started to hold him back, that's when he started to, you know, go after Greg. But do I think that him and Greg would have fought if Shaq wasn't in the middle? I mean, I'm not sure, but you know, I think that kind of rattled Greg. And honestly, Greg is just looking for some type of upper hand to use. And it's not working only because King did apologize, and King, in fact, did not put hands and feet on him. So this is what happens when the girls were linking up to let everybody know that, hey, Toya, I'm not going to be able to make your event because of those charges that Greg pressed against King. And all the people are basically letting her know that they support Quad and King, and that if there is a decision to choose between Quad and King and Lateasha and Greg, then all the women there, including their husband, will pick them over Lateasha and Greg. So this is why I was saying that they need to understand who and what is going on. So hopefully Lateasha can definitely talk some sense into Greg so that they can continue to be on the next season. But honestly, I don't feel as though they may, you know, be on the next season. We'll have to finish this off. But honestly, I feel like they may take a break, because this season was definitely a lot for Gregory and a lot for, you know, Quad. But honestly, he wanted the smoke when he decided to bring his new wife on there and to embarrass her. So I feel as though if you can dish it, you need to be able to take it. You need to be able to take what you have dished out, Dr. Gregory. But he was not expecting it to be so much more than he bargained for. But you have to remember what he did to the previous season. Now, I guess you guys are wondering who is going to be the replacement for Lateasha and Gregory. Well, it's the couple that they introduced as friends, Mimi and Steve. They're going to actually be their replacement moving forward if they do not, you know, take those charges off, and they're not trying to stay. If they're trying to find a reason to leave, you know, the pressure is getting to them, aka to Gregory, then Mimi and Steve will pretty much take their spot. And it's because, you know, everybody does like Mimi and Steve. They are a great addition to Married to Medicine, and also, which is good because she's also is a doctor. So they will be their replacement. Instead of them being like a friend of the show, they may have the opportunity to be on full time. Now, the whole situation with Phaedra and these girls, I honestly feel like it's not really that deep, honestly. I feel as though Phaedra is just using this to exit, because isn't it she she's supposed to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I feel like this is the reason why she's really trying to cut ties with them. And honestly, everyone is trying to say that Phaedra was trying to make Apollo jealous. I don't think so at all. I just feel as though they were trying to be messy and be in her business. And Phaedra is not going to allow anyone to be in her business, because that whole situation with her and Apollo is still, kind of messy. So instead of her, going down the line or trying to explain herself, she's willing to exit the show only because she already has something lined up. I don't think that she's going to be coming back to Married to Medicine next season. So it really doesn't make any point for her to even try to reconcile a friendship with everyone if she plans on being in Atlanta. And it's not Jackie's fault as well. And she did know beforehand that Apollo was coming. So no, she was not blindsided. She did have this information, but I think it was just the new wife situation, her going into it, and she really don't want to deal with that. And honestly, she really don't want to have Apollo, being on the show. But they could also bring him back into the Real Housewife of Atlanta as a special guest as well. So, she may have to look forward to that. So what do you guys think of the next episode of Married to Medicine? Do you think that Mimi and Steve would be a great replacement if Lateasha and Greg decides to move and leave the show? Because they're definitely showing that they cannot deal with that. Well, Greg is definitely showing that he will not, and he does not want to deal with Quad and King. And are you happy that Phaedra is going to be leaving Married to Medicine? And do you guys think that, how will it be moving forward? Are you guys going to continue to watch Married to Medicine? Is this going to be your last season? Are you guys still a fan? And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.